How's it going, everybody? This is Kurt with Top Rope Renegades, joined by RK. We are bringing you the Smackdown results from March 29th, 2024, the penultimate Smackdown episode before we get to the go-home shows of the biggest weekend in professional wrestling, WrestleMania. RK, we just got done watching Smackdown. How are you feeling from today's episode, and what's going on with you?
Hey Kurt, how's it going? The show wasn't anything amazing. It didn't blow you out of the water. It was just kind of one of those shows where they're setting things up for next week in WrestleMania, and we got to expect those shows coming in closer to the biggest event of the year. So I mean, it did what it had to do. I wasn't blown away by any one segment or anything, but overall, it was a decent show. I enjoyed watching it tonight.
Thought it was a pretty, it was just a SmackDown to set the table for what we have next week, and then WrestleMania, just more storyline help and moving along. Before we get into the results, I, of course, have to share my interview with AEW's rising star Sky Blue is available on our YouTube page. I have to give the utmost credit to my employer here in Indianapolis, WIBC. They granted me a studio to sit down and record with her in, and it was a really good interview start to finish. She's an amazing person to talk to, great answers, and honest, just overall sweetheart of an individual. If you haven't already, please go give that a watch, a like, and leave your comments and let me know what you think of Sky Blue. I think her potential is to the moon, and I can't wait to see what she accomplishes coming up in the next few weeks on Dynamite and then beyond.
Yeah, I listened to that interview as soon as you posted it. It was a cool interview. I was so happy that you got to do that. That was so cool. She seems awesome. Like, I mean, just down to earth. Most wrestlers, you watch your interviews, they're totally chill people. You can't have anything bad to say about most wrestlers these days. They're out there for the fans. They know what they're doing. It's a good time, and yeah, absolutely, it's blowing up a little bit. You're getting some views on it. Love to see that. Love to see some attention to the YouTube channel. But yeah, if you're watching, you're enjoying the videos, click that like button, subscribe. We're gonna have lots of content coming up, and we just want to keep, talking about wrestling. We want to be those guys that just talk about all that wrestling. We're not partial to any one company. We just try to give our honest opinions of what we thought every night we watch it. So yeah, thank you for listening to us, and we continue to appreciate the support.
I echo everything you just said there. Okay, I agree 100%. So let's get down to business. It's Friday night SmackDown, March 29th, 2024, live from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. It was just another build night for building to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia next weekend. We had the big advertisement coming in that Jade Cargill would make her first appearance as an official SmackDown member. We had the main event would be Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai, and then the two qualifying matches for the six-pack ladder match at WrestleMania 40, and we kick things off with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton taking on Pretty Deadly, and I felt in the back of my mind that Pretty Deadly's not going to win it, right? It's going against KO and RKO, and that's actually a good tag team. Maybe they should explore that after WrestleMania. This match was, it's what I expected, and then it wasn't what I expected, but at the same time, as a person who's been watching wrestling for as long as I have, I should have seen it coming. What do you think, RK?
Yeah, I mean, how could you? I mean, I didn't even expect it, but I mean, the writing's on the wall. Of course, Logan Paul was going to be involved somehow. I love that Logan Paul is giving his time to the WWE, really furthering along storylines. He's not just a part-timer at the moment. That's really cool. We already have one part-timer champion in the industry. We don't need another one. So it's cool. Yeah, that little spot from out under the ring. Of course, a match between RKO and KO, which, like you said, now that you think about RKO, the tag team does work, but against Pretty Deadly, it's not really a high-profile match, so they definitely were setting something up. So I'm not surprised by the ending. It was kind of cool. Obviously, giving Pretty Deadly the win, kind of giving them a little push. From my understanding, they were pretty big in the Europe scene, so I haven't seen a lot of them, but honestly, so far I'm kind of warming up to them.
See, you just got to warm up, RK. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get a warm up to some of these people. So on Dynamite next week, I expect you to have the same sentiments for Hook. The match ended pretty deadly. Does win by pinfall after the Logan Paul of interference, and then we get the spot where Randy and Kevin are chasing Logan backstage. Logan hops in a getaway car that is ready to go for him, and he gets out of Dodge.
Well, I think he might have stolen it. I'm not 100% sure what was going on there, but nonetheless, yeah.
He hopped in and he was out of there. And then we do learn later on in the night that next week on SmackDown, Kevin Owens will have the KO show with his special guest, Randy Orton, on the Go Home show before WrestleMania 40. Come back from commercial break, and we get an EO Sky cutting a promo accusing Bayley of trying to steal the heat of Damage Control, and in many words, just calling her an embarrassment, and in hopes after WrestleMania she will never see her again. The interview wraps up, and Bayley is there to attack EO post-interview. This is just setting the scenes for what I feel will be a fantastic WrestleMania match.
You know me, I love Bayley. I can't wait for that match. This little segment here, I liked it. I wasn't expecting that from EO. She got a little dark there. I like it. They're really diving into some kind of deep-seated anger between the two of them there. But yeah, no, Bayley with the attack, it looked pretty brutal. It was good stuff. I mean, obviously, you know, it took a little bit to break that up. I'm pretty sure they're waiting for that one spot where they went through the green screen. But yeah, it looked good. I love the setup. It has potential to be one of the top matches at WrestleMania this year.
We cut back to Nick Aldis, who is in the ring with a contract in hand. He says it has been his goal from day one to make SmackDown the best show, not only in the WWE, but in professional wrestling. And this newest signing is going to take them closer to achieving that goal. And here comes Jade Cargill with a awe-inspiring entrance, in my opinion. I loved every second of it. The storm is coming. Jade Cargill makes her way down to the ring, puts the pen to paper, and cuts a fantastic promo where basically she's just talking her shit, and she says, listen, this roster is one of the best in the world. This women's division is fantastic. But all of them back there, they're not Jade Cargill. So the storm has arrived, RK. What do you think of Jade Cargill's first appearance as a SmackDown roster member?
That entrance was so cool. As soon as I hit, I got goosebumps. I'm like, wow, this is big. And Corey Graves said it. He called her a game changer, which, you know, might be a little shot at AEW with their constant game changer signings that they always seem to be doing lately. But I liked it. Overall, Jade, they've been developing her. She came out. She looks amazing. I only can think of great things for her. She's going to be top of the women's division if she can pull it all together. She looks so good tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Jade Cargill run post-WrestleMania and what she's going to bring to the SmackDown women's roster. We get an interview segment with Dakota Kai and the Kabuki Warriors, and Dakota takes a shot at Jade Cargill and said she hasn't done anything and that she will take out Bianca Belair in the main event later tonight. We get a spot here with Nick Aldis again. Isla Dawn flagging him down to talk about changing her music or something around those effects, and Alba Fire pulling her away. So maybe we have something coming for them post Mania. And then we get AJ Styles. He asked Nick Aldis if LA Knight was going to be here, and Nick said, I asked LA Knight to stay away. And AJ says, well, you should have told him. So setting the seats for, I think LA Knight might be in the building.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious after what happened last week. Let's go back to Isla Dawn and Alba Fire there. It's an interesting little segment there because they haven't really been on TV that much. But they're too good for that. They had a huge run down in NXT, and I think they should be getting some more screen time. So I'm hoping this sets something up for those two. But on to the AJ Styles, LA Knight. Yeah, I mean, AJ is a legend in the industry. LA Knight's one of the top stars in the WWE right now. That match has so much potential. And yeah, Nick Aldis, you know, I asked him to stay away, but We all know what that means. There's no way LA Knight's not there tonight.
We will get to that later on in this episode. Before we get there, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller take the ring to take on the Street Profits. This is the first of the two qualifying tournament final matches. Pretty good match. All four of these individuals are really good. Austin Theory has grown on me more and more. Montez Ford, I've said it before, is absolutely fantastic in the ring. I want to see him, and I can't wait, because it's going to happen. I can't wait to see him in a singles run of some sort. He will put on fantastic matches, and I think you mentioned a name you'd like him to be up against, and that's Ricochet. Overall, this match, before we get to the finale of it, what was your takeaways?
Yeah, it was a good match. The main takeaway from it is, again, Montez Ford. He looks so good every time in that ring. He is just a walking highlight machine. Everything he does is so fluid. I love to see it. Taking nothing away from Angelo, he looks good too. He's a big, strong boy. I love those shoulder tackles, like when he put Grayson over the announce table there. That looks so cool.
His gloves too, right?
Yeah, good. You had to bring that up, didn't you? Yeah, those gloves, man. He's got to lose those. Those drive me insane. It's been 2 weeks in a row. I can't stand it. But overall, like I said, all of them, you're right. They all look good. Austin Theory, he is good. He's got the look. He's got the moves. He sells better than anybody. That I hands down, you cannot knock that guy for how dedicated he is to helping other guys' stuff look good. And Grayson, yeah, he's got a ton of potential. Overall, it's a good match. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
The finish comes after we see a shot of the Jumbotron. Bobby Lashley and B-Fab are knocked out in the backstage area with Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux drinking some champagne over them. And then the confusion, Angelo's points at Montez to finish it. He heads to the back to check on their team, and he goes for the frog splash. Theory gets his knees up, rolls him up, and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller moving on to WrestleMania. Did you like the finish?
It was a typical finish. I mean, you don't want to put the Street Profits on a clean loss. They're too good for a clean loss. This just further along that rivalry between the Final Testament and the Pride there. Overall, I'm still not sold on this rivalry between the two teams. It just feels kind of flat. I want it to work so bad because I'm a huge Karrion Kross fan. I've been wanting to see him succeed, but I just don't know if this is quite the spot yet for it to happen. But keep it going. It could build into something. Sometimes stories take a while to really catch on. Similar to when DIY formed back together. The crowd weren't really into them at the first, but they, over the weeks, they got more matches. The fans started to remember, this is Tommaso and Johnny. So I feel, Karrion is going to be able to come out of this little slump that they're in. They're really trying, and I want to see it work. So we'll see where that goes.
And then we get the casual post-match beatdown in the Final Testament standing strong over the Pride. We then get a recap. Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Legado del Fantasma will make their entrance, and Santos will give a thank you to Dirty Dominic Mysterio for last week. And we get to that, and it's, well, Santos does his thing. Here comes Dom. And, of course, I can never hear what Dominic Mysterio has to say.
I mean, I don't even know why they bother, but they know what they're doing. It's part of the heat. It's good to see. I love to see it. Dom is so over in that category. It's so. I can't think of another single star in the history of the business that has had heat like him. I love it every time, and that's why they do it. It's hilarious to watch. I love it.
So here comes Rey Mysterio in the LWO, and he gets on the mic and lets him know he thought he was done fighting Dom, but now with the two men he despises the most in front of him, he has a opportunity to beat respect into both of them. He challenges them to a match at WrestleMania. Santos and Dirty Dom versus him and a partner of his choosing. Dom asks, well, which one of these bums is it going to be? From Carlito and the two other members of the LWO. I am spacing their name, and it's okay.
It's I'm gonna add something to that because I laughed when Dominic said what he said. So Dominic Mysterio grabs a microphone and asks which one of the dorks will be his partner. He calls them the Lollipop Guild, the one with the hair, and the non-Latino. I thought that was gold from Dominic. That was a good spot. I really enjoyed that a lot.
And then in this back and forth, Zelina Vega is staring a hole through Elektra Lopez, and then a introduction happens, and Ray says, "Here's my partner, the newest member of the LWO. It's Dragon Lee." So we get Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio taking on Dom and Santos Escobar at WrestleMania. And then, of course, Zelina with a big smack to Elektra, and a wild brawl breaks out with the LWO standing tall post-scrap. And then we get Zelina versus Elektra next week on SmackDown.
Yeah, I love that little spot. I mean, it just all-out war between the two factions. It looked good. Dragon Lee is a huge addition to the LWO. Dragon Lee has a ton of skill. I keep saying this, but this is another of those matches that could be one of the top matches of WrestleMania. It seems like I say that about every match, but they're all shaping up to be so good. We're in for a huge WrestleMania. I love it. The big thing I got out of that last little bit there was Dragon Lee hit that beautiful senton from the top rope to the outside. It's gonna be a high flying match. Dominic's no slouch. Santos is great in the ring. Ray's a legend, and Dragon's the future. So it's going to be a great match. I can't wait for it.
Rey Mysterio did coin Dragon Lee the future of Lucha Libre, so I also cannot wait for that match at WrestleMania. We get Bianca Belair and Naomi backstage, and Naomi just letting her know, if anything goes south tonight, I got your back. New Catch Republic make it to the ring. We go to commercial, and we come back. The Judgment Day are in their clubhouse, and they're a bit frustrated that Dom didn't tell them he was going to go out there. Damian asks Rhea, "Hey, did he share that with you?" And she says no. Dom does show up, and he apologizes and says he needs the doctor, and Damian says WrestleMania is big for them as a team and individuals, and Rhea asks if he has anything to share. So this whole segment was a bit of, I guess, playing into maybe there's some dissension among the Judgment Day. Do you think that is coming soon?
Yeah, I think they're teasing a split here. I don't think it'll be a full split. The way they kind of played it out is Rhea. This is how I see it going. I see Rhea going on her own because she's the star of the women's division. Damian and Finn will stick together, and JD and Dom will stick together. That's kind of how I see this going. But the split up is inevitable. You got too many individual stars in that group that you can't really keep them together forever. It overshadows each one's skills, I feel.
Yep, I agree 100%. That brings us to the final of all of the tag team championship qualifying matches. This will determine the final team in the six-pack ladder challenge for the unified tag team championships between Legado del Fantasma and the New Catch Republic.
Hey, quick question. When did they change Humberto Carrillo's name to just Berto? I don't remember that happening at any point.
I don't remember it either, honestly.
It's just, I feel like it's just one of those things that they just did it, and they're like, oh, maybe nobody will notice.
Like changing Pete Dunne to Butch, but in this match he was Pete Dunne, and I am a huge New Catch Republic fan. I'm a massive fan of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, back from the NXT Black and Gold days, the big battles for the United Kingdom Championship. This match was good. It was athletic moments of just brilliance. Tyler Bate is just so good and quick. He with the elbows, the boot up, the diving uppercut, and then the standing shooting star press to a kick out. A really good match. And we get anything else you want to say about this match? I just thought overall it was really good.
Yeah, there wasn't anything that really stood out in my opinion, but overall it was a great match. They just went hard. It was just a hard hitting match overall. It's kind of what you expect from Tyler and Pete at this point, and Humberto and Angel. They look great too. Like overall, I mean, not a bad match. It's just one of those matches that it's not on the thing where you're like, oh my god, that just happened, to it sucked. It was right dead in the middle. Solid match, great match for middle of the show.
Yep, New Catch Republic win by pinfall with the, and here how I say it, the Birmingham Hammer, not the Burning Hammer, the Birmingham Hammer is their tag team finisher. They are the final team to qualify for the six-pack ladder match at WrestleMania. And all throughout the night, we are getting in-depth moments of Cody and Rock stuff from Raw, and we cut to Paul Heyman, who says the final boss took out Cody by order of the tribal chief. Jimmy Uso says that Jey Uso isn't going to make it to WrestleMania, and he will be facing Solo Sikoa next week on SmackDown by order of the tribal chief. And Solo says he will take him out, and he will miss him by order of the tribal chief. So in this segment, I just thought, okay, they're painting it as Roman Reigns is the one behind all of it. He is the tribal chief. He makes the calls. Does that mean that The Rock doesn't make the calls?
I still find that hard to believe that The Rock isn't behind all of this. If Roman showed up more often and was, present in leading the group, I would probably believe it. But I think there's a master plan here. The Rock has his fingers in everything. He's just kind of the overall puppet master.
Final boss.
And yeah, he's the final boss. I still think Roman should be watching his back. I wouldn't trust The Rock on this one, but it's hard to say. The way The Rock's been, tearing through Cody and the boys, he might just be, 100% for Roman to hold on to that title. It's really one of those things where it could go either way. I don't know it bounces back, man. Is he the good guy? Is he the bad guy? Is he going to screw Roman? Is he going to screw Cody? I love it when it's like that, where you can't predict it. It just makes it so exciting.
I saw a meme that had a girl laying in bed looking away from her boyfriend saying, he's probably thinking about other girls at night. And it cuts to the man and he's looking up the ceiling fan thinking, is Cody really not going to finish the story at WrestleMania? And that's how I feel, because I have no idea what's going to happen. I am on the edge of my seat, and I cannot wait for WrestleMania. Another match we cannot wait for, AJ Styles taking on LA Knight. AJ comes out with a microphone in his hand, and he says, Nick Aldis said he wasn't here, but he knows better than that. He calls out LA Knight, and he asks around, where are you? Not down the ramp. Are you the camera guy? Takes out the camera guy's head and it's like, well, you're better looking than LA Knight, and that's not saying something. And he's looking all over the place for LA Knight, and then we get the spot. LA Knight is there, and he's got a nice wig on. I got a nice little laugh out of it. What say you?
At first glance, I didn't realize it was LA Knight later until he was standing there. You're like, yep, there he is. Of course, this is how this was going to go. And yeah, LA Knight took the beat down to AJ, took the chair to him a couple times. AJ ran off. LA talked this shit. I love it. I'm going to say it again. This has potential to be one of the big matches at WrestleMania. We're talking about banner after banner. I can't wait. I want to see LA Knight succeed. He's been on a meteoric rise, and which is just so awesome at his point in his career. AJ is so established. I honestly don't think a loss to LA Knight at WrestleMania hurts AJ in any way whatsoever. Let's give LA Knight his moment in the sun. Let him pull out a big win against one of the top stars in the wrestling industry.
He tells the crowd, and he tells AJ whose game it will be at the end of the day at WrestleMania, and that is LA Knight. Yeah. We get a hype reel for the one and only Tiffany Stratton. I love this vignette, this hype reel.
Yeah, you did.
I did. She's fantastic. They're making her look like she should. She's going to be a star, and it may be coming sooner than later.
They're pushing her to the moon. She has potential to be the future. It's looking so good for the future of the women's division. You got Jade Cargill coming in. You got Tiffany Stratton coming in. You got all these young ladies down in NXT right now killing it. That could come up at any point. The women's division is looking stronger than ever. I love to see it. And yeah, Tiffany, they're gonna push her to the moon. she has the skill, she has the look, she has the charisma. She comes off as a likable, hateable heel all at the same time. It's crazy. I love to see it. I'm so happy that they're really focusing on the women's division and giving them the time to shine. I love to see it.
Bianca Belair makes her entrance. We cut to commercial, and then when we return, it is announced that the Andre the Giant Battle Royal will be taking place next week on SmackDown in the memory of Andre the Giant, of course. And then we get to the match, Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai, the main event of the evening. Good match. It really showcased how good Bianca is, and Dakota, in my opinion, has always been underrated. Injuries have hurt her. There was just a couple good reversals, a couple good back and forths. The hair spot, as always. What was your favorite moments from this match before we wrap up the show?
I was very impressed with Dakota Kai. Like you said, you've always been a huge fan of her. I haven't paid as much attention to her career as you have, but she looked good tonight. Bianca, she looked back in top form tonight. She looked really good tonight. I felt like the last few weeks she kind of has taken a back seat to things, but she was right in the forefront of the issue tonight, and she looked good. I have no complaints. That was an amazing closing match for the show tonight.
Yep, we get a scorpion kick around the turnbuckle area onto Bianca. She goes for the big boot, nobody home. We get a fantastic deadlift superplex from Bianca Belair. Sets her up in the backbreaker rack and then hits her with the KOD for the 1, 2, 3. And of course, we get a post-match beatdown. The Kabuki Warriors hit the ring, beat Bianca down, and here comes Naomi. And it seems Naomi is getting the upper hand, and then Kairi Sane cracks her across the back with a pipe. And of course, the number games start to overpower Bianca and Naomi. But then the storm has arrived. Jade Cargill makes her way out, and she doesn't rush. She walks real slow because she had that look of, as soon as I get in this ring, all three of y'all are gonna get your ass whooped. That's what I felt. What did you think when Jade's music hit?
When her music hit and she walked out, there's again goosebumps. She has the look. She has such a magnetic attraction to her. She looked amazing. She looks powerful. She makes Bianca look small. She just looks strong and mean, and like she can take on anybody. She got in that ring. She took out all three members of Damage Control there with ease. The crowd was into it. The crowd was popped huge. The crowd loved it. I loved it. I can't wait for what Jade Cargill will do to the WWE.
Yeah, the power bomb, the lift up power bomb onto Dakota was massive. Then she takes out the final member of Damage Control, Kairi. She did take out Asuka with a big kick early, and then hits Kairi with her finishing slam, and she puts her in the pin position. The crowd counts 1, 2, 3, and it's just side by side, Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill in the middle, staring down Damage Control. And I said it a couple weeks ago. I really hope we get a triple threat match to just give Damage Control a match, because obviously EO is going to be busy with Bailey. I said to you, I was like, oh, maybe Jade, Naomi, Bianca take on Damage Control, and we are getting it. I assume we're getting it. I guess it's not official yet. I haven't seen the graphic, but I think we're going to get that at WrestleMania to give Jade Cargill. You're going to see Jade Cargill's probably going to run through him.
Yeah, the setup is there. I don't think they have any plans for the tag titles at the moment. So, what a better stage to showcase your new star in Jade than at WrestleMania. Make her look strong. Make her carry. Not that Bianca and Naomi need carrying, but just make Jade look strong. Make her run right through Damage Control. Just give her the WrestleMania. Just push her to the moon. I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna build to. We can't wait to see Bianca's first singles match, and I'm really looking forward to it. But that's a wrap. That is the SmackDown of March 29th, 2024. We have one more Monday Night Raw, one more NXT, one more Friday Night SmackDown, and then it is WrestleMania weekend. Looking so much forward to this. Next week is going to be fantastic. And man, I really am. I have no other words to say, but be prepared if you're a wrestling fan, because it is going to be a hell of a week in professional wrestling. What parting words do you have for the people here, RK?
Great show overall, setup show for the go home show next week. Love it. And I guess all I can really leave with is we'd be a 5-star podcast if we were in the Tokyo Dome.
We would. And if you haven't, I'm going to plug it again. Please check out my interview with Sky Blue. It is on the page right now. It'll be linked, of course, in the description. Give it a listen, give it a like, and give this episode a listen, a like. Subscribe to the page. We appreciate you so much. And as RK said, this will be a 5-star show for you in the Tokyo Dome. Dave Meltzer, take notes. Thank you so much for listening. Talk to you in the next one.